Stewards Cup, 4:05 start time, field of 7, Golden 60 was the 2021 winner, Romantic Warrior. He won the Classic Mile, his only look at the trip. In California Spangle, he won the Hong Kong Mile at his last start. Waikuku was last year's winner. Then we've got the upsetters, which will be Russian Emperor, Beauty Joy and Panfield. Speed map time here, Tom. Small field, which is going to give California Spangle the advantage. What happens around him, though?
Yeah, well, it's going to be a race at the end. I think it's going to be decided by some small, crucial factors. What happens in the early part of the races, because we know Paul California Spangle can go forward, but what are they going to do with Waikuku? Because we know he can certainly roll forward and race handy. California Spangle's stablemate Beauty Joy raced around to take him on last time out at the 800 metres, and Golden 60 Romantic Warrior drawn 4, Golden 60 barrier 2.
Yeah, exactly. So I think Golden 60, look, the thing with Beauty Joy is I'm sure Tony Cruz will want to be positive with him from barrier number 1. So he can get him behind California Spangle. I put good to slow, but look, I think for the first 1,000 metres it's going to be under that, and then California Spangle will probably try and take off at about the 600 and make it into a real staying test for the last 600 metres. Panfield and Russian Emperor, I think we know is going to get back. It's just how those other 4 just in behind is going to be.
Of course, 12 months ago, Tom, Waikuku caused a massive upset when he beat Golden 60. If he does it again this year, it will be an even bigger upset.
It certainly would be, because no 8-year-old has ever won this race, the Stewards Cup. Waikuku winning it in 2020, of course, Downing Beauty generation there, who was a winner in the year prior to that in Seasons Bloom, going back 5 years ago.
Well, outside the 4-legged variety, it's the 2-legged men that are going to make play here. We're going to hear from the big players right now. Zach Purton, followed by Vincent Ho and Karis Teaton, the riders of the big 3.
Anytime I get to jump on his back, it's always enjoyable, and obviously there's been a lot of talk around it. It's a showdown, so let's just hope that each of the horses get their chance, and they should in this small field as well. And let's hope that it goes down to the last 50 metres, because we want it to be exciting, and all 3 of them are in good form. So yeah, we look forward to it.
Before we touch more on the aspect of the race, etc., his recent trial, he looked very good in that. Were you happy? Did that go to plan and fully what you expected from him?
Yeah, he just does the same thing every time he trials now. He stands in the gates quite good, he begins well, he just goes along at his own speed and does what he has to do. So, as long as his action feels good and he pulls up well, that's all we need to see, and that was the case. I
can sense a wry grin, Zach, when you talk about this horse. He clearly means a bit to you. How much do you get a kick out of the whole preparation and the lead up to something like this? Because, you are a big-time, athlete, if you will, and, this is your stage, and it's a big stage. Well,
this is what we do it for, right? We want to ride these good horses in these big races, and especially when we're faced with some challenges, and I have 2 strong challenges to come at me. I don't know who's going to come out on top. Yeah. A small little thing that happens at some stage of the race might be the defining moment for the result. So we all have to be on our game. More importantly, all the horses look like they're in good form and they're fit. They're still early on in their preparations, so none of them are going to be over the top, and we just hope it's going to be a good race.
Vincent, Golden 60 returns to action this Sunday. Obviously a huge race, a huge day, the Stewards Cup, a race that you and he have got history in, of course. Firstly, how is the horse in preparation for this big race?
Yeah, it felt really good yesterday morning on the turf. Very light on his feet again, and he very smooth, did everything well, pulled up very well. Yeah, I think he's ready again for the Group 1.
In contrast to his all-weather trial and his turf gallop, were you happy with the gallop and the trial, or were you happy with the trial as well?
I'm happy with the trial as well. Everything went smooth, so had to work him a little, of course, that day. And the turf, I'm even, happier that how he felt. So.
A lot's been made, Vincent, of course, of the battle of the big 3, if you will, the tempo of this race. We know as if we've got the confirmed leader in the shape of California Spangle. Where do you see you and your horse settling? Do you ride him much like a Champions Mile and a bit closer, or is that just a given the size of the field, perhaps?
Yeah, wherever he's comfortable. He's now very relaxed, but also jump well, and he also has the speed if I need to be, if I want him to be, and very likely be behind the pace, between 3 to 5 would be ideal. Not too far back, obviously. But yeah, where is comfortable is the most important thing.
It's going to be a massive weekend. Three very good horses crushing each another, and yeah, like you say, I'm just so grateful to be able to ride this horse again, and just looking forward towards the race now.
How has he felt, Karis, in the morning and in his trial? Have you felt him improve, or is he just the same quality horse that you've always known him to be?
He's a horse that after every trial or every workout he gets. Physically he improves, and you can feel that. So after each and every work I've been doing on him, I've been working him every morning. So yeah, I've been feeling how he's improving towards his race, especially after a trial. After his trial, you can feel it wakes him up and gets his mind all ready.
And just finally, Karis, in a perfect scenario, how does this race pan out for you and Romantic Warrior in your mind going into this race?
We're drawn next to California Spangle, and he's usually pretty handy. So, we'll let him come out, and we'll either follow him or maybe be one back or two back. Like I said, I just want to go out there and ride the race to suit the horse, and. This horse, he's going to put himself in a position where he wants to be, and he's going to take it on from there.
Straight from the big three there as far as the riders go, Paul, to the Longines Hong Kong Cup. Romantic Warrior absolutely scintillating in this.
Wasn't he? Didn't he really put his hand up and say he's one of the best horses in Hong Kong? We sort of knew that already, but this was just fantastic win from him. Now, he's 1 from 1 over the 1,600 metres as well, Romantic Warrior. This is 2,000. Maybe he's a better horse over a mile. Well, it's hard to say looking at this, though, but any distance he seems to win.
Looks like he could be a good horse over any distance. So we saw that trial there. The trial down the straight was very good, over 1,000 metres, and that was a standout performance there. The form out of that race has been franked as well, with Moneycatcher coming out and winning the January Cup, but that win was exceptional. The trial was very good coming into this.
Yeah, it sure was, and Karis Teaton back on board. Now, the graphic here, Tom, is the breakdown of last time between California Spangle and Golden 60.
Yeah, so the third section was pretty much identical, apart from the little micro splits there, but 22.62 for that third section for the pair of them. And then, of course, Golden 60, that last sort of 100 metres or so when he really knuckled down and got close to a California Spangle. He's run home in 22.98, California Spangle 22.23, Paul, and he wouldn't have wanted it much further, California Spangle, that day.
No, he wouldn't, would he? That's why I think he might take off at the 600 and just try and keep going, because Golden 60 seems like he could get him over the 400.
Of the others, Paul, Panfield. Now, he's a Group 2 winner over the 1,600 metres. If anyone from 4 down to 7 won this race, it'd be a huge shock. His trial was very good, though. No,
it was. He trialled really well leading this. He has trialled well in the past. And look, he's sort of been there or thereabouts in his races. He's run sort of 5th and 6th in his last few. Sometimes the race hasn't gone his way. So we'll see what happens here with him. He'll get back. He'll want as much pace on as possible.
Chased home Lucky Swainess in this trial. It'll be one of the favourites going forward to the Group 1 sprint in a few days' time, and he'd won a trial before this trial as well. Only thing that concerns me is he's got a few internal issues.
And he comes back from 2,400 metres for this as well. Who wins it, Paul?
Going to go Romantic Warrior. I think he can win over the mile, so he's on top. He can sit just outside the leader. Golden 60, California Spangle, and then I'm going to put Beauty Joy in because I think he can run on for 4th, but I'm around the top 3, 2, 1, 3, 6.
Yeah, around the top 3 as well, but I'll go out with Romantic Warrior as well. 2 to beat 1 Golden 60, 3 California Spangle, and of course a winner of this race, Waikuku. He goes in for 4th. 2, 1, 3 and 4.